Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're watching me for the first time, my name is Lizzie. You're welcome. If this video helps you in any way, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. I love you guys so much. So today I'm going to show you all how I was able to tie this bridal satin gele, and it's not difficult at all. So the first thing I'm going to do is to fold the edges of the fabric. Thereafter I am going to make about 4 pleats. So this is actually called a doll face fabric, and it's a satin fabric, and this is just 1 yard. So what I did was to cut the fabric into 2, and then I took one end and placed it at the other end so that my fabric would be really long. Based on the look I was going for, it was what I wanted, but you can make yours different as well. So after making my pleats, I am going to place one hand on the ear of my mannequin, and then I'm going to take that same hand, place it under like this, then place the other one on top, and then bring the hand that stays under the hand under the one on top. I hope that you guys are understanding. I'm going to bring it to the front like this. So when you bring it to the front like this, it forms a V at the front. So you really need to be careful. If you're tying on a mannequin, you need to be careful. At this point, I'm actually holding the other hand of the fabric in between my laps just so that everything will be firm. I discovered that it will be easier for me that way, since the mannequin does not have hands, it's not a human being and cannot hold the fabric down for me. So it's easier to just place the second hand of the fabric in between your laps and then walk your way through. So right now I am just going to make about 4-5 pleats. So for the 5th pleat, I am going to drag it down a little bit and pin it just so that the rest of the pleat stays secure. I am just going to drag the 5th pleat down like this and basically pin it. You can actually pin twice or once, depends on what you want. So this is a mannequin and it can really be slippery sometimes. It's actually different when you're tying on a human being. At least the person can use her hands to hold the fabric down, but I'll try my best, guys. So I'm going to bring the second hand of the fabric on top the base like this, and I am just going to start creating ruffles like this. So I actually do love this particular style because it's really beautiful and unique. This style actually trended in 2020, the beginning of 2020 and into 2021. It really trended. In fact, one of my most viewed videos on YouTube was on this particular style. It really trended and it's really unique. This is actually quite different. It's not like the round pleats where you have to make sure that your pleats are really beautiful and properly defined. This one is actually really different. You just have to make do with your fingers. Anything that you can come up with, just create ruffles, just create anything. The only thing you have to do is to make sure that it stands, everything stays secured, and so that your gele does not fall. So what you're going to do is you're just going to walk your fingers in between the fabric. It's actually not really hard, it's quite soft. So walk your fingers in between the fabric like this. So what I'll do is just to start creating my ruffles at this point. This is where the main work is. So you need to make sure that even though we do not have a particular system for this particular style, you still have to make sure that it's neat and it comes out really beautiful. So I'm just going to keep creating my ruffles until I am done. So I'm going to leave you guys to enjoy the rest of this video. But before I leave, I just want to tell you guys something, that if you're going to tie this particular gele, you need to make sure that you have lots and lots of pins, because you have to make good use of your pins. You have to make good use of your pins. So if you want to tie this particular gele, have pins is very important, and make use of them where you feel is necessary. And then when you are going to put pins, make sure that you are placing your pins from behind the gele and not at the front. You don't want your pins to be too obvious. It can really make your work look really dirty. So if you're going to pin, place it from behind the gele and then just pin it, not at the front of the gele or at the front of your fabric. Just place it behind and pin. So I'm going to leave you guys to enjoy the rest of this video until it is necessary for me to come in again. So guys, for the remaining hand of this fabric, I think I am okay with the ruffles that I have on this hand. So I'm just going to twist the remaining hand of the fabric like this, and I am just going to pin all of that down. Twist it and then just pin everything down, either by the side or behind your fabric, whatever you want. Just make sure that everything stays secured, everything is standing properly, and then you can pin it. And right now I'm going to move over to the second hand of the fabric, and this is how I am going to place it. I'm going to place it right behind the first hand of the fabric that I have right here. I'm just going to place it behind like this and then pin everything properly so that everything stays secured. The edges of this particular fabric, I didn't hem it, so I'm just going to make sure that I hide everything properly so that it looks good at the back. And right now I'm going to show you guys what the back of the gele is looking like. So this is the back of the gele. I have excess at the back, and I'm just going to pull it right behind the ruffles. As you can see in this video, I'm just going to pull it right behind the ruffles and then bend it a little bit just to hide the edges of the fabric, and I am going to pin like this, the way you can see me do in the video. I'm just pinning right behind the ruffles that I created because I want my work to really look good and neat. So for the remaining hand of the fabric, I'm going to twist it like this and then just pin it the way you can see me do right now. So I'm going to turn this gele over to the front like this. This is what the front is looking like at the moment, and right now I'm basically just going to arrange to make sure that everything looks good and is secured. So I'm going to turn the mannequin over to the back again. This is what the back should look like. I'm actually pinning the ruffles down to the base gele so that the ruffles don't fall off. If you don't do this, you discover that your ruffles or your fabric would want to fall off from your head. So you need to make sure that you pin the ruffles down to the base gele, as you can see me do in the video. You can pin at 3 points or 4 points, depends on what you feel like doing or how best you feel everything seems on your head. So right now I am going to turn the mannequin all over to the front because I feel like I'm satisfied with what I have, and this is what we have right here. Okay, so for some persons, they actually prefer their ruffles to be really high, and then for some other persons they prefer it to be average, and then some really small. Whatever works for you guys, but I feel like this height is not so bad. It's okay, and it's not too bad for a bride either, or for a wedding guest. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope that it was helpful. If it was, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share if this video helps you in any way at all. If you've not turned on your notification button, please do that so that each time I post you get a notification and you'll be the first to know. I'm going to link some of my previous gele videos on this particular one, just in case you're interested in knowing how to tie any kind of bridal style at all. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you all in my next video. Bye.